Has anybody ever heard of the Rosenbaum family house? No, didn't expect you had. Nobody else had heard of us either. This is the story of how we raised $50,000 for a charity that nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, so none of the big color races that ever heard of us either, but we really wanted one to come to our town. So what we did, we pulled together a bunch of demographics about our town that made it sound bigger than it really is. Yeah, in West Virginia, right. To convince the company, we got a bunch of demographics about our area, about the surrounding area. Everybody commutes in our town. We have the venue, we have the cause, and most importantly, we had the team to pull it off. We had to choose a race company. After we convinced them, a couple of them wanted to come in. We chose to go with Color Me Rad because we chose to get the most money back from them and because they show a genuine interest in our community and in our cause. First thing we did, marketing blitz. We hit the streets. We went to every local event that happened in Morgantown for 6 months. We went to Pittsburgh. We handed out 6,000 flyers at Color Me Rad events in our area that we drove to. We had kids' days. Of course, we hit social media. I don't need to tell this crowd about that, but I will say the biggest draw we had for our race was Facebook, far and away. We also hit local media pretty hard. The Dominion Post is our area newspaper. That was our biggest sponsor. WVAQ, KKW, our two top radio stations, they were our big advertising sponsor, and we went to the local Visitors and Convention Bureau, which is Greater Morgantown, and they helped us out a lot through all their networks. We targeted large groups rather than individuals. We went to schools, we went to the Greeks, we went to workplaces, we went to the veterans, aiming to get large groups of people at one time rather than saying, hey, why don't you come to my race? We went, hey, why don't you come to my race? Our biggest sponsor was WVU Healthcare because the Rosenbaum Family House is tied into WVU Healthcare. We tapped into their network of 30,000 people all across the state of West Virginia to get them to pull their members and support their cause. For sponsors, we let them give us whatever they wanted to give us, whether it was food, equipment, money, volunteers, whatever. We called everybody that had a phone, basically, and said, hey, you should come help us out with this race. We promoted it heavily as a family event because we knew our town is a very family-oriented town. We had to market it that way to get people to bring your kids. Hey, bring your whole family, come out for the day, it'll be a blast. When registration opened, we expected 3,000 to 4,000 people at our race. Within 2 weeks, we had 2,000 people registered, and that was 3 months out. So yeah, it was pretty fast. We were pretty excited about that. We got a bunch of vendors lined up, not just to do food, but also to do different events. We had a lot of marketing people there. Nonprofits were welcome to come market their own stuff free of charge. We had, obviously, food vendors. We had, for our VIPs, all of our sponsors got to come. Our VIPs could present at the event free of charge. We had a party the night before. We thanked all of our sponsors in all of the media we did, social media, on the radio, everywhere we could. On race day, we had much more than just the race. We had the bounce house. We had kids' crafts. We had face painting and balloon animals and photo shoots and water fountains and all kinds of stuff. So it wasn't just the race to draw people in. After the race, people were calling us to sponsor us for next year. We had volunteers saying, I want to be involved in this next year. We had people saying, how did you do this? This was amazing. So it was a really bigger success than we expected. West Virginia Magazine took a survey of all the readers in the state of West Virginia, about 5,000 people. They voted our race best race in the entire state. We got publicity in West Virginia, Pennsylvania for months afterwards. We ended up with 8,900 runners. That's triple what we expected. And we raised $50,000. The organizers of the race also do Electro Dash. They wanted to come back to our community, and so we raised another $20,000 in May of this year, and we didn't do a thing. We said, sure, come on back. And we are actively working on it for 2014. And if anybody wants more detail about marketing, if you come find me later and ask me a question, I might have a free t-shirt for you.